By the way, guys, I respond to every single comment and question. It's just sometimes it takes me a while to get to it because I get wrapped up, and you have to understand that I have some very popular videos on home improvement and auto fixing cars and fixing trucks and tractors and all that stuff. And sometimes I just get bombarded with stuff, and I try to get caught up, but then I got to go to work. And things get backed up a little bit, but everyone will be responded to. Nobody around here ever gets ignored. In every rack of 8-balls, there's going to be at least one problem. Sometimes you have a lot of problems, but there's always at least one. And actually, after the break, I point to the major problem in this table. And we're going to be taking the stripes. Let me show you why we're taking the stripes as soon as I break. And it's basically because the 15 ball is blocking the 8 ball. So if we run out the solids, we're going to get stuck on that 8 unless we knock it out. And I don't want to go through all that hassle. So the stripes are looking pretty here, except looks like the 10 ball. I have to get on. We have to attack the problem first, and I have to attack that 10 ball as soon as I can because the rest is pretty gravy. And that's why I'm shooting this 14 ball first to try to get on that 10. And I tried to knock the 3 ball out of the way, but it didn't work, and I get hooked behind the 3. And now we have a serious problem, right? We need to find a way to go ahead and make some of these stripes down table and find a way to get back all the way back up table on their 10 ball, and those 2 solid balls are making things difficult back up table and kind of surrounding the 10 ball. So that's what I'm thinking about as I'm playing is what ball am I going to use to get back up table. And you don't want to wait till your last shot because then it's going to be do or die, and you don't want to put that kind of pressure on yourself. But I don't have much choice here. First I have to get right on the 11 ball in order to get the right angle on the 9 ball in order to get back up table. Yeah, so now it's a do or die. You have to do this, and you really don't want. This is going to call for a really good shot, and I don't even get back up after this shot. I've got everything riding on getting perfect on the short side of the 10 ball. And now I can make it. It was a good shot, but I can't really get far off the rail to shoot this 8 ball, so I'm going to have to settle for a long shot. And I got off the rail as much as you could ask for with that because I was almost straight in. Yeah. It was played well. I just wish I had thought a little bit more about how I was going to break out that 3 ball in the first shot. But let's go ahead and answer the question. If I have a choice, it's always going to be a 9-foot table. And that's just because I like to let my stroke out and I draw the ball a lot. A lot of people don't realize that to be a high-level bar table player takes a shorter, punchier stroke. And for a lot of people, they don't have access to the big tables. All they have is the small tables. And they develop that stroke to where it's really, really hard to break and adjust to the bigger tables. Now you're also moving the cue ball a lot less and in tighter, places, and you're breaking out a lot of balls, but just because it's a smaller table and the same size balls, you just have a whole lot less room, and you can't really let your stroke out. Now I'm not knocking bar tables. I like to play on the bar tables as soon as it takes me about a half hour to adjust. it's much easier to adjust down than it is to adjust up, and that's why a lot of bar table players they can't adjust to the big tables. They're kind of lost on them, and a lot of really good bar table players get stuck on those small tables for their whole lives. It's just the process of a longer stroke and moving the cue ball a whole lot more, or just having the freedom to do that. It's got to be that bar table stroke is probably the toughest physical habit you'll ever try to break. And there are people who've done that. Skylar Woodward is one of them, but he's a rare exception. And because it takes me a little while to adjust to a bar table, I'll be the first guy that gets there if I know I'm going to be playing on bar tables later on. I have to show up at least a half hour early just to... And especially the side pockets on a diamond table, they can be a little tricky on a bar table if you're used to the big tables. Now, most of you guys see me playing on an oversized 8-foot table. There's actually different size 8-foot tables. Some of them are undersized 8, some of them are exactly 8 feet, and some of them are oversized. So this is closer. These tables you see me playing on, I play more on diamond tables, which are flooding this region of the country and everywhere you go. Even the dumpiest little bars have diamond bar tables on it. My point is, it really doesn't affect me a whole lot to... It's all the newer tables, they have tighter pockets than these old Brunswick tables, but I don't do a whole lot of pocket cheating, and I think the guys struggling with, tighter pockets are the guys who are always cheating the pockets to gain, the right shape and be closer to the object ball. And I still shoot center ball whether I'm playing on 4-inch pockets or 4.5-inch pockets. So, it doesn't... instead of cheating the pocket, I'll get a longer shot. I'll settle for a longer shot on the following ball. And what's important to me is the angle that I get, not the length. But a lot of guys like to be closer to the ball, so they cheat the pockets to get there. And then when they switch to tighter pockets, they find out it's a big pain in the butt to try to... They're always rattling balls because they're trying to cheat the pockets. So it's just not the way I was taught to play. I watched Buddy Hall, who always shot center pocket and never cheated a ball and just allowed the English on the cue ball to get the right position on the following ball. But I didn't copy everything with Buddy. Buddy shoots the same exact speed on every single shot, no matter what it is. And again, he lets the English on the cue ball do the work that he needs to be done. And most players in this era are using the speed of the cue stick and the cue ball to get the right position, and they cheat a lot of balls if they're playing on looser tables. And I know you didn't ask any of that, but I'm just kind of, going with it right here. I don't have the room for a 9-foot table, and people ask me why I don't just get a bar table. Because, I guess that's what they think I should have. And it's a simple answer. I don't want to go back to that, getting in the habit of that short bar table stroke. There's a period in my life where I did nothing but play out in the bars on bar tables for years, 5 or 6 years straight, doing nothing else. And you can't help but adjust to that punchier bar table stroke. Otherwise, you're just going to play bad. So that's what I did, and when I got all that out of my system and just out running around playing for nickel nickels and dimes against guys that couldn't play. And don't get me wrong about that. There's some monster bar table players out there, man. And, you know, I wasn't there. You can tell just by the way they walk that, you know, you're lying over your head. Yeah, some of them. But the point was, I mean, you have guys with fragile egos, you have alcohol, and you have women, and that makes for golden mixture for people like me. And you know, I was out drinking every night and picking up women and doing what I do, and the whole stroke becomes a lifestyle. And one of the probably the hardest thing I've ever done after that period was let my stroke out, you know. I was gun shy about everything, and I couldn't play. And that probably took a solid year to just get the confidence built enough to let myself play. And I never ever want to go through that again. And that's why I know if I get a bar table, it's all I'm going to be doing 24/7 is playing pool on a bar table and making. Oh, I can make some incredible videos if I had a pool table at my house. I'd be setting up like 5 different cameras and getting every angle of everything. Oh God, that's all. But it would be all that I would be doing, and then I can see myself in fighting action over my house. That's going to create problems. And it's a bad idea for me. I'd rather be out there playing. I mean, yeah. So, anyway, there's your answer. 9-foot tables are always my first pick if I have a choice.